Love the intro.
Oi, people. How we doing? Absolute pleasure to welcome you to the very first episode of Arsenal X Rated. And thank God we can have a little bit more of a positive one because we're reacting to a 1-0 win away at the shithole. So what me and Jez are going to be doing for this first room, we'll be reacting to this game very, very shortly, along with some general Arsenal chat. And before closing, I'll be introducing a regular little end of the week segment, and it's coupled with an absolute belter of a story. My mate Craig, who was at the game earlier, told me. So yeah, you'll definitely want to say that. So again, firstly, welcome. Thanks to everyone who's here. Thanks to everyone. It's much appreciated to be watching and catch up as well. On this channel, this is what I want to just iron out first off. We're going to call out bollocks, absolute bollocks. As and when we see it, one of the things we're always going to do here is we're going to have respect and gratitude for those who deserve it, absolute period. So I want to say a cheeky little thanks to some tubers who've offered some help and advice and even an opportunity along the way. Yeti's Cave. We've got Early Doors, Tony, what a man. And also superstar Geordie, Mama Flossie. She's been absolutely wonderful. And of course, let's not forget my guest to the right next to me here. Recently hit 600 subs, sorry. A stream I was absolute pleasured to be on with when he hit it. 10k, I believe, is his next target, and we're all going to get him there because he absolutely bloody deserves it. And if you don't know his channel, firstly, where the fuck have you been hiding? At Arsenal History and More. Jezza, absolute pleasure to have you here, mate.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
And well done. You're off and running, and big up, man. You've already got 42 subs, and they're going to go up tonight, that's for sure. It's been streamed everywhere. Yeah, but don't thank me, mate. It's your own work. You're doing your own thing. Love your intro. And yeah, let's get it going. And you've got some people in the chat already, so that's good news.
Yeah.
And we're going to...
Well, firstly, with the intro, I actually, just to iron out a couple of the little bugs here, it said, did it actually start playing? Because on my thing, it said that it weren't working. So I think I cut it a little bit short. So I'll sort that out for next time if it was playing.
It was playing. It did cut short.
Yeah, I cut it short. It said there was a failure to play. So apologies for everyone. I'll make sure you see it in full next time because it's pretty good and I work bloody hard at it.
No, it was good. But I think, yeah, don't panic about it. Don't panic about it. It StreamYard can kick you in the teeth sometimes, mate. That's for sure. But yeah, it's one of them things, mate. Just iron the little glitches out, and it's all good and ready to rock and roll. Yeah. Mate. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Honour to be on your first guest, and there'll be many more in the future. I know that.
Yeah, lovely, mate. So yeah, let's kick it off, mate. So trick of away wins at the shithole, Jezza, since 87 to I think it was 86 to 89 or something like that, late 80s. And I'm kind of hoping this is going to be a bit of a platform, you know, for us to build off, because while the performance was absolutely not pleasing on the eye, let's get that right. It was another ugly performance. It's sort of similar to how we've been playing all season. I'll take the 1-0 all day long. All day long. Do you reckon, like me, this could properly kickstart our season?
No, we ain't got a team. There was points in that game when I'm sitting there looking at it. Let's just look at the substitution situation, right? When I was doing my watch along, I said 65 minutes, Tottenham make changes, we're going to make subs in a minute. And it was predictable what we're going to bring on, right? Jesus and Sterling, yeah? And you can see, just before the subs were made, you can see Arteta's looking like that at the bench. And he's like, you can see him thinking, who the hell am I going to bring on? Right? And then once he brought on Sterling, yeah, and Jesus, again, he was like, who am I going to bring on here? I mean, there was one player on that bench today. I've never even heard of him. Never heard of him. I'm thinking, well, Carrier or something like that.
I think
Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, who the hell are you? And then if you noticed at that point, they did bring Enwarely on, yeah. AirPod Albert and Arteta are like having a debate, and you can see that AirPod Albert is going, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know who we're going to bring on. I don't know. And they brought on in Wary. Good. I'm glad the guy came on. We need more of him. I thought he did all right when he came on, in fairness, played a bit of trickery. But this is where we are, mate. So, no, ain't going to kick us on. We haven't got a bloody decent squad. So, no, sorry, mate. Can't answer you with that with a positive.
Do you know what, mate? I wish I could actually argue your points. And let's get the bench because I've got it up. Our bench, right? And the best players in the two players that we brought on, I know we brought on Ranieri as well. Like I said, it's quite nice for him to get minutes, Jez. We had two Manchester City. We had one Manchester City reject and a super Manchester City reject in Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. I mean, like you said, they were the only two on there. Other than that, we've got Norbert, the keeper, who couldn't even get a first team place in Bournemouth. We've got Kivior, who basically, let's face it, he's lost his place entirely. And then you've got 5 under 18-year-olds. You know, you've got a Kabir. I'm probably going to butcher these names, by the way. We've got Kabir, Kokori, and Lewis Skelly, Ranieri, and Heaven. This is it's a worrying thing, really, when you look at that bench and think 4 competitions we're going to be in there. We've had a brilliant opportunity in terms of the transfer window where Manchester City, whilst they've signed all right, you know, they've got Savinho, excellent little winger. They've replaced Gundogan with Gundogan. That's a fantastic signing. We also had an absolute phenomenal opportunity here, Jezza, to close that gap even more in this transfer window when we ballsed it up. And when I'm looking at a bench like that with 5 or 6 kids and 2 rejects from the team, we're trying to catch up. That is worrying. And I've got to put my hands up there and sort of agree with you there. Let me ask you a question sort of here while I'm on this topic, because whilst it is nice for Ethan Ranieri to get on and have some minutes, he came on obviously while we was 1-0 up. So, you know, it sort of eased maybe and give him sort of a little less pressure to have to come on, perform and impact the game to get us a win. Would you have kept Emile Smith-Rowe, who also got another assist, by the way, considering if you'd have known that we wasn't going to sign another midfielder or anyone else really for that matter in anywhere near this, because let's get it right, Mourinho is not an ESR replacement. They're 2 totally different players. Would you have kept him, Jez, knowing that we weren't going to sign anyone else?
In hindsight, right now, sitting here, I'd have said, I'd have to sit here and say yes. Because we're short. We need him. You know?
Yeah.
So I'd have to say, yeah. I mean, he wasn't getting the game time under Arteta. He's blossoming very nicely at Fulham. So, yeah, we need it. We need it. And, you know, again, I'll go back to this, right? We've got Atalanta away on Thursday night. Yeah, we lost Zinchenko to injury. That's another one gone.
Yeah.
They're dropping like...
I actually didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why he won on the bench. He's picked up a knock. So that's another worry. And we're off to Atalanta in the Champions League with that bench. And let's put it right here. Let's put it right. Forget all the bullshit we've heard from Arteta about, I'm not writing Arteta off the North London derby. Get out of town, man. You're talking absolute bull. We know no way that guy was going to make that game.
We'd see his foot facing the other way, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on. Absolutely never. Now, it's one of them things, Jez, and you'll probably agree with me. It might be one of the things where it didn't look as bad as first feared, but I mean, when your foot's facing the other direction, you're not going to be running on against a North London derby because it's always going to be a bit of a hectic game. There's no way he's going to run that off. No. You know, it's embarrassing to come out and say that, isn't it, mate?
We ain't going to see him Thursday. We ain't going to see him Sunday. If that is the injury as bad as it could be, we ain't going to see that guy any time soon. So forget all that bollocks. That is. Don't forget you've got a few people in the chat here, mate. So you need to get in there.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And apologies to the chat. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just still kind of getting used to a couple of little bits here. So you'll have to bear with me for the first couple, ladies and gents. Here we go, yeah. But yeah, Jezza, yeah, it's a little frustrating, you know. Big up Early Doors as well, by the way, absolute superstar, Mama. Like we're saying, we've got a lovely load of names in here, and that I absolutely appreciate for being here. It's so grateful. We've got a bit of DJ over here. Thank you very much, my kind man, for your support. Carl Rossi, big up, mate. Absolute star, Ryan. Quality, mate. Thank you very much for coming over. Hopefully we can see some of these faces as we carry on growing. But yeah, Jez, it's one of them things, especially going back to this squad depth, right, mate? Because this is what's killing me, and I cannot, for the love of money, see why you've got these mega rich people so high up at Arsenal, like Mikel Arteta, who's now obvious, and we'll get back into this in a little bit, who's signed another 3-year deal on astronomical wages. Let's get that right. We've also got Edu in charge and a very powerful position of this massive, great football club. 2 rookies, obviously, as we know, by the way. How can he let us go into 4 competitions? And I know it's only 1 or 2 games, but the Champions League now, you've got an extra game, haven't you? If you don't get a high finish, you'll also maybe play another 1, maybe or 2. I don't exactly know the rules, but a qualifier. I don't know whether that's just in one neutral zone or a home and away. All these games are all starting to tally up, and also so are our injuries. And that's a little bit worrying that someone like Edu, who's happy to smoke his cigar while he's grilling on a barbecue, just let our wafer-thin squad, bearing in mind, after only 1 suspension and 1 injury, so it's not like we've been absolutely riddled, you know, with injuries. It's not like you can reel off 5, 7, 10 players, you know. And our midfield's already looking almost all right today. You know, it didn't look strong really at all. 2 players, Manchester City, and this is also the worry. Manchester City didn't have Kevin De Bruyne for large parts. So yeah, they didn't even have Haaland for large parts. They had constant sort of injuries. They just get on with it, didn't they? But us, we've got 5 under-18s on there. 2 players that couldn't even make their first team, hence why they were sold. And Kivior is obviously never probably going to play an Arsenal game again. How is this allowed to happen, Jez? I can't understand it, mate.
We've got frauds. They're stealing a job at the end of the day. The fact that what Edu, this 180-page document he had, right? Well, what I'd love to look at that document, because I've been thinking, excuse me, what have we got in it?
I don't even think he's looked at it, Jez.
Well,
I can tell you that for a fact.
I reckon there's 180 pages of blank pages.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Printer paper, isn't it? Yeah.
The man is a fraud. What is his statement? He said, wait till the Euros, be patient after the Euros and Copa America, be patient. Well, yeah, we're all patient. What happened? Yeah. Nothing.
You won't be disappointed. And like I've said before, I'm not disappointed. I'm fucking embarrassed.
Well, we're going to find out pretty damn quick at the end of the day. And, you know, you got all these Arteta sexuals out there, these super channels, giving it all the big large. Yeah. What was that clown today, Julian? Uncle Fester? We're going to win 4-1. What drugs is that man on?
I don't know. I think he needs to give me some, because they must be strong.
It's all a narrative, right? It's all a narrative. So those channels, you know, blindfold the young kids that follow them, and all those youngsters fall along with it and go, oh yeah. Oh, because Uncle Fester said we're going to win 4-1. We're going to win 4-1. Yeah. Fat boy Robbie. Yeah. All this, you know. And he got all the other idiots that go along with it on that channel saying, oh yeah, well, you know, we're going to compensate on this one, and it's the next progression. Bollocks, man. How long do you accept failure? Yeah, it's a great win today, don't get me wrong,
but it's a process, Jez. It's a process. Be patient.
How long does the process take then? How long is it going to take? Because it's going on and it's going on, and it's going on. Now, the thing is today, right, we got away with a good result, 1-0. I said it was going to be 2-2. But at half time, I said, I can see this going. One of the teams is going to nick it 1-0. And that's what happened, right? It could have been Arsenal. It could have been Tottenham. I wouldn't say either team was great, to be honest with you. But our midfield, I thought, was crap. Their midfield was crap. Hence, we were trying to play the long ball, right? But, questioning point, I don't know if you noticed it. When Spurs were attacking, Martinelli and Saka fell back into playing left midfield, almost left wing backs.
Yeah.
And then right wing back. So when we did play the ball over the top to bypass their midfield and our midfield, there's nobody there to receive it.
Yeah, because both of them were so far back. Yeah.
Havertz is playing central midfield, central defender, midfield, CDM. So what is this about?
Who was largely anonymous as well, by the way.
Oh, shocking game today. So that doesn't really work it out, does it? So I'm sorry. That tactic was the only tactic he could play today because he knew he had no midfield. It was blood. We just didn't have him there. Jorginho, I thought, well, what are you doing? And also, I thought Partey was bloody useless today.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Maybe
he hasn't been good, has he? Yeah.
He didn't have the link up with Rice. He's obviously got used to playing next to him. Jorginho clearly hasn't got the legs anymore. So it was just an embarrassment. And we've got this again Thursday night away at Atalanta. Right?
Yeah. But, go on, sorry.
And then we're away at the Etihad 4:30 next Sunday. Got to help us, man.
Do you think, obviously, given that we've got such a sort of a week, do you reckon he's going to try and do any form of rotation? And I know it's so early and the excuses aren't there. And actually, we've got no one really to rotate. But surely he's going to be looking the way we are, swatting down like absolute flies, like little girls we're falling down and getting injured. Do you reckon he's going to make some rotational changes for the midweek Champions League game? Purely because that we know that if you get one more injury, say Thomas Partey goes, and I know we've said, Jez, he wasn't great today. We've said that because he was absolutely shit today. Let's get that right. But, you have another player injured in there, and then all of a sudden you're starting 2 18-year-old kids. Or do you reckon we'll see some rotation for that? Because thankfully, 8 out of 10, or even some top gooners, 10 out of 10 window for Edu has left us so short.
Who are we going to rotate with?
Yeah. When I asked you, I actually almost stopped my own question because I just realised, oh shit, yeah.
Who have we got? I mean, we've got Nweri. I haven't got a problem with him. Right? Yeah. Then we got the other lad, Kivois. You going to put your faith in him? No. And then we got a guy I've never even heard of him.
Yeah.
Don't even know where he plays, what his position is.
Same.
So no disrespect to the kids at all, but we're going away in the Champions League, right? A competition we've never won, and we're going to have to go and try and compete with these kids, if that's what he wants to do. And it wouldn't. I'll tell you what, Aaron, it would not surprise me if on Thursday night when we're doing it, I'll be doing a watch long for it. They're going to have these, like, suddenly look at this team and think, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll have Declan Rice obviously available back now anyway, I guess, because obviously he only had a 1-match suspension, and that also wouldn't apply to Europe. But even sort of still for them games, Jez, in terms of, like we're saying, or lack of rotation, who are we sort of bringing on, So let's just say, for argument's sake, we have an absolute wonderful sort of start to that game in Atlanta on Thursday, right? And we're comfortable up when it gets to 60s, your 70s. Who realistically are you sort of bringing on at that bench? It is just like for likes. And I'll make this point now while I'm sort of leaning towards this. Mikel Arteta is possibly the absolute worst in-game tactical manager I've ever seen, not only just at Arsenal, but possibly even in the Premier League. because like you sort of touched on earlier, Jez, all the substitutions are like for like. There's no tactical nous into anything. They're always about 10, 20 minutes late. And when they do eventually come on, it's winger for winger, winger for winger. Centre. There's nothing changing. There's no shake-up, is there? I just don't know. I don't really have much sort of faith, sort of coming back to the bigger picture, really, here, that this season's going to really sort of end in anything. You know, we'll have nice moments like today where let's get it right. A 1-0 win's fantastic away at Tottenham. But it's a good day today. That's all it is. In the greater scheme of the things, I think we're all going to be very, very, very disappointed in May and scratching our head and looking back at the season and especially at the window and thinking how. And I know I've sort of gone slightly off topic here, but how are you sort of like feeling about this sort of project as a whole in its entirety now? Because I thought that we'd spent all this money to not have the issues that we're having now. And it seems like we're astronomically weaker than we were last year. Whilst City haven't spent a thing and they're stronger. They must be looking at us, and Liverpool, who had an absolute flop window and all, they must be laughing at us, Jez.
Absolutely. I mean, we are now weaker than we were, as you just said, this time last year. So at the end of the day, you have to say, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because we are in, well, we're not going to. We know this. We know this, Aaron. We are not going to be fighting on full fronts, right?
No. But why? We was told this. We're weaker now to do it than we were last year, Jez.
Yes, we've got next week, Wednesday, Tuesday night, whenever it is, Wednesday night, we've got Bolton Wanderers at home. They're going to be up for it because where they are, they want to progress in a trophy. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what team's going to happen there? Right, well, that's another story for another day. But, you know, we've then got the fact, you know, Man City away on next Sunday. I'm fearful, mate, that we could get absolutely piped in that game because I don't see anything of any substance. The only thing that's working well at the moment, right, is that our goalkeeper, Raya. Yeah, I thought he had a great game today. And our defence, but at times we looked a little bit shaky because we ain't got no midfield. Our defence has no protection from that midfield today.
No, you've got Jorginho. You're quite right. You've got Jorginho who just ain't got the legs anymore. I think was it Paul Merson might have actually said in the match build-up on Sky. I mean, he basically sort of said, on the ball, Jorginho not actually that bad. Off it, absolutely horrendous, and it's absolutely spot on, really, ain't it? You know, and how we rely on what you're saying on with the defence is you want that sort of protection, and when you haven't got Rice, who I think is a little bit of a lucky boy today. And by that, I mean, you know, he lets down a little bit. I won't go too much into it, but so unnecessary what he done in the Brighton game. I think he lets down a little bit. I also thought, and it was funny that we actually got the goal from a corner, but I thought, you know, him also not only being missing from that midfield, but it was also a couple of his good crosses. I'm fairly certain that got us a couple of goals there last year. Now, actually, no, coincidentally, we scored from a corner this year, but it's just another little string to our bow we'd sort of missed through something so unnecessary, you know, like touching the ball out. It was a little bit over the top from the ref, but I mean, Rice also didn't have to do it, did he? And I don't really sort of know how I feel, especially as well about the discipline with Arsenal, because all right, we weren't as bad as Spurs today. I think they had about 6 or 7 yellows, I think, in the end, didn't they? But who was it? Was it Timber at first that booted the ball away and got a yellow, or was it Kai Havertz? Someone done that in that first half, and I thought to myself, Jez, I thought, how can you just do that again? Was it Saliba, wasn't it, when he got bested by
he walked away the ball behind his back.
That's exactly right. And it's these little sort of things as well. I think it's a little bit petulant. Why are you not learning from things like this? And that also then alludes me to the fact that, well, is Arteta not learning? Because he should be telling this. It was a talking point amongst the masses all week. And we've gone and done it again 7 days later in the next game. is this sort of something where, this is again possibly like a rookie manager still having to find his way to learn this? Are these the little decisions like the Rice thing that are going to eventually sort of take us to the end of the season and we don't win anything? And by that, I mean, let's get this right. If one of them decisions or one of anything, if one of them draws turned into a win last season, we're Premier League champions. And I just don't want us to say, for argument's sake, when Saliba done that, he could have got sent off because of that, and then we'd have drew the game, lost the game. There you go. There's 2 points gone. That would have won us the league last year. Do you think there's just still now a real naive sort of rookie sort of ness into the way Arteta and Edu are shaping us? Like, and do you reckon it's still ultimately going to punish us? And also, Jez, when is he not going to be a rookie anymore, Arteta? When is he going to be the real deal? And how long do we have to wait for it?
Well, you got another 3 years, mate. What are you worrying about? Another 3 years.
I'll segue into it. Into 3 years more of Arteta. So basically, what we've got to do, Arsenal fans, is wait possibly 3.5 years until we get another manager in that's going to win us anything. Because I'm sorry, can you see this man winning us anything, Jez?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. None of us have got a crystal ball, right? But what we can do is go on likelihood and previous. And I'll tell you what previous and exactly what DJ Crane is saying in the chat. A rookie manager on almost 20 million a year of Guardiola money. And let's get it right. He's not even Guardiola light. He's nowhere near the man. He's his cone boy. And we've got him on that astronomical, ridiculous amount of money. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I just can't sort of see in the proof of the pudding. We bottled a top 4 race. The proof, we bottled a 93% statistical chance of winning the Premier League. With 10, 11 points, I think, ahead at one stage. Last season, the Villa game, which was an absolute devastation because we had so many opportunities. All I can see is the geezer not being able to get over the line. Now, I'm one of them. I'm not going to completely destroy Arteta. He has taken us into a better place, but this is not the guy to get us over the line. And we've got to wait another 3 years to find out who is Jez, unless he signs another deal.
How much more money is he going to spend then?
Well, I mean, when you're looking at benches like this, Jez, and then you're looking at benches like Manchester City's, I mean, we as Arsenal fans are sitting and laughing at the Chelsea's, just saying, yeah, you're going into $1 billion. I think we're going to have to go into $1 billion to get a bench because this geezer has spent what we talking north of 700-800 mil, whether that's in euros or whatever. You sort of read these things, whatever. It's still a lot of bloody money. And I'll tell you what, that bench doesn't scream to me like someone who's just spent almost £1 billion on it. And we made 20 million profit this month, this window. Why are we doing that? That's worrying in itself, is it not? To sort of think that in this such a pivotal window when we're trying to close the gap, we're more interested in making profit than we are making up ground on a Manchester City team that are probably going to walk this league, Jez.
Yeah, I mean, as people in your chat are saying, DJ saying a rookie making almost 20 million a year.
Yeah,
it's shameful. There's some good comments there. Big up Dal. Dal's in your chat, man. Big up Dal. Yep. And I mean it's just nonsensical. But at what point is it going to come? The only way this idiot and Edu are going out the door is when the fan base say enough is enough. That's it. Because the Cronkies they'll just go along. They don't give a shit about the club. It's just a money, a cash cow, right? Edu's robbing a living. Arteta's fucking clueless. right? So he's just going to like. In fairness, right? If look, let's put it right. If you're in that job, right, and you're not doing the job, well, you're doing the job, but you're not winning fuck all, but you're getting £20 million a year, you're going to take it, aren't you?
Well, of course you are. He's a rookie. Let me know anyone who gets. Well, Pep Guardiola will go down, if not already, as the greatest. I probably shouldn't say that Alex Ferguson's still there, but he will go down as one of the Premier League greatest managers of all time, and the greatest managers of all time. He's earned that. He's earned his wage. Let's get that right. And do you know why? Because his massive, long, never-ending list of silverware proves it. What's Arteta won? He's got the FA Cup in the first 6 months. Fair dues to that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to knock that because it's a little something. But that was with someone else's regime. Now he's in his own little thing. And we've got a shorter squad than last year, and we're expected to compete in 4 competitions. And you'll get all these top gooners that say, yeah, you know, there's no more throwing the trophies away. We're going for it all. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, if we've got a worse squad and a worse bench than last year, how are we expected to actually go in and seriously attack these other cups? Now, I mean, look, we're going to this Manchester City game, right? First v second, Jez. So it's not all entirely doom and gloom. It would be if we was lingering in, you know, where Chelsea and all of them lot are. But also at the same time, I can't sort of help but thinking Man City are almost in second gear. They look like they're absolutely strolling it. They've got Haaland. Shock. Who would have thought a prolific striker would win you title after title, Jez, by the way? Shock that, isn't it? But we haven't signed one in about 5 years. But who would have thought that? I'll tell you who we did sign. We signed the geezer that funded Haaland to win them a treble and for 3 back-to-back or 2 back-to-back, however long he's been here. That's what we're doing. And it's very worrying. It's very worrying for me to know that we're sort of being led by that. And I want to go back to a little comment here that Aces has said. And I totally agree with it. It's real simple, people. Until Stan Kroenke sells Arsenal, no trophies will ever be seen at the Emirates. And the real worry with that is I agree with it.
So I totally agree with it, mate. Totally agree with it. It's a shit show. You know, how many trophies have we won since the Cronkies are here? 2.
Until they took, yeah. And that would have been, what was that, in the 2019 and the 17 final, was it, or something like that? Both with Chelsea, wasn't it, that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2, I think both 2-1 as well, wasn't it? I was at the 17 final.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke situation now. How long? I don't know. I've never known anything like it in my life, right? Of any football club I've watched in all the years I've watched football. Yeah, that's a lot of years I've been watching bloody football, not just Arsenal, but other teams. That people will happily accept, Arsenal will happily accept failure. We must have the best PR team in world football.
Oh, well, yeah, that's it. It's a PRE season. They love it, don't they? Just before the season starts, and now we're PR Arsenal, aren't we?
Lap it up, Aaron. They lap it up. Yeah.
They're starving for money, aren't they? I've never known such money-hungry, greedy institution like this lot. And they do it, Jez, in the most cringiest way. Like, I promise you, right? I went on the Arsenal website only a couple of days ago. And it was to look for an Arsenal top for my little boy who had his birthday only in the last couple of weeks. And before I could even get to the actual website, you know, the store sort of bit to buy it, you're just peppered with the most skin crawling, awful, vulgar reads you'll ever see. Like, and you've got to click things. There's things coming up, promotions and things like that. I'm thinking, I just want to buy something for my little boy, and you're just reading through these cringe statements, these cringe articles. I I've never known anything like it, and almost sort of like what Lee and all of them boys sort of say. You go on the real teams like the Madrids and things like that, and you don't see any of this garbage, do you? Like you go on the Arsenal thing, and I've got this geezer in a little golf buggy or whatever, just driving around. Like, what do I want to? I want to buy a fucking top for crying out loud. What do I want to see this idiot with one of our subs talking about absolute bollocks in a fucking golf buggy for? Like, and you've got to wade through all of this nonsense just before you buy stuff. And before I've even gone on to buy a kit, Jez, do you know what? All I can see is fucking win the dog merch.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here? Is there any other team in world football who actually have a living mascot? Because I don't think they do. I mean, it's a first, and it's not because we're breaking the market with groundbreaking new ideas. It's fucking embarrassing. It's cringe.
It is cringe.
Where do we move from here? Little cult.
That's the direction, mate. Arsenal are going down. It's not about winning. It's about the get-along gang. Right? They don't want fans like me. They don't want fans like you. All they want is people on the match day experience that are going to go there. They're going to go to the Emirates, the Armory, shed load of money spent, right?
Yep.
Go into the ground, right, on the lottery system, right? Because that's like Vic the other night was saying, Vic Lavia was saying he's a silver member, right? And if he gets a ticket on the lottery, he can't even choose where he sits with his mates anymore. It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And he's
telling me that
20 odd years or something. He was telling me he waited to get a silver member. And I said to him, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't actually bloody bother for what it's costing you. And you've got to go into a lottery system. I wouldn't bother with it. Seriously, wouldn't. I'd just say, sod that. I'm off. But
it's not worth the paper it's written on now, is it?
Well, he knows because somebody will take that. They will take that. Oh, thanks very much. I've got a season. Well, it's not. I don't call it a season ticket at all, because to me, a season ticket is where you get every home game, as it used to be. Now you're in a lottery system. You know, I just don't get it how it works. I think Kenny's a gold member. Yeah, I did see that tie in the stadium on the TV, but they don't give a shit about you and me, the real fans. All they want is the people who turn up for one day, right? I mean, Tony in your chat has told me, right, early doors football, people go to West Ham. They're not West Ham fans. They're just in London and they want to go see a football match.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to get at Arsenal. That's what happens. They're not Arsenal fans. Right, I told you this story once before. When I went up in 2016, my last year, right, when I was in the North Bank, yeah, I'm there and I'm chatting to mates of mine and everything like that, yeah, and we were standing up to see what was going on down in the corner, and and this very well-spoken lady sat behind me, said, "Do you mind sitting down? I can't see, and my little girl can't see." And I looked around, I went to her, I gave her the Jez look, and I said, "How about fuck off?" And she went, "Oh, you can't speak to me like that." I said, "I fucking just did." You know, I mean, what?
Digest that, you fucking bitch, innit? Come on, man. Talking to you like that.
North Bank, love. You're in the North Bank here, and you're thinking like this. You're at the theatre. You're not at the Royal Opera House, right? This is football. Yeah. Bollocks. Piss off out of it. If you don't like it, F off. I won't have none of that bollocks, man.
Yeah, what's that all about? That's exactly right, mate. And of course, it's fans like us. You know, obviously, I know you don't go anymore, but proper fans like us, and like Kenny, I'm in the North Bank as well, my season ticket. And sometimes when I look around, all I can see is, and you'll notice they do like the clear, you know, the pull tie bags they'll have. And the reason they're all sort of clear is obviously so when you go through bad checks, you can see what. But you see them like more than you do people wearing football shirts now, because exactly what you're saying, the target audience is no longer you. It's no longer me. and it's no longer the likes of Kenny, etc., and like-minded fans. It's people coming over, and that's all well and good. That's fine. You know, they've got their own right to support Arsenal, but you've got the young kids, and there's schemes for them to sort of come in. They couldn't really give a toss about the football. They just want to say they've gone. All they've gone there for is just one of them, a little selfie with a stadium in the background, and that's that. And of course, what else, mate? Going into that armory, quite like what you said, and going and spending and getting themselves 300-400 quid's worth of gear and then something for the fucking dog. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. As long as that club store's got a good take at the end of the day. I mean, I don't really think a lot of the PR little merchants really care, do they? And it's a shame when you sort of think that, and especially, you know, you go into games, and I notice a lot of a different change in atmosphere, like, because I've been in the seat for a few years. When I start seeing, you know, faces who haven't gone or whatever, for whatever reason, there's new people in there that you've never seen before. It's not the same. You know, they don't know the songs. And look, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that, you know, new people shouldn't be going to the Arsenal. But what I'm saying is fans like us shouldn't be so underappreciated and undervalued. And I think that's sort of what you're getting at as well, you know. Because especially fans like you, Jez, let's get it absolutely bloody right. Of put this sort of club where they belong, you know, proper fans. You could sit there and, like I said, I know a fair bit about Arsenal, but you've probably forgot more than I know. Do you know what I mean? Look, it's just such an undervalued commodity to have a respect for Arsenal like that no more. They couldn't really give a toss.
They don't want fans like me. They don't want fans like Kenny. They don't want fans like my old muckers like Sheepskin Steve and Hendon Josh and the boys that I used to go to games with, you know, proper real Arsenal. And, you know, some of them are proper naughty boys on Matchday, you know, and they don't want us. They don't want us because we don't spend the money, right? When I used to have my season ticket, I didn't spend fuck all at the club. Right, around Highbury, you know, I used to. Well, you didn't have the facilities you've got like you have at the Emirates now, but I used to get maybe when I was a kid, I used to go to my nan and granddad's to have lunch and then go to the game. But you know, after that, I used to go and get a hot dog or a burger from a street vendor, you know, and I used to enjoy that. That was part of the experience. And then, you know, after that, we go up the pub, and then we go back to the ground, and then get in the ground in the North Bank and enjoy the experience, and, you know, run the gauntlet with the away fans, because that's how it was back in the day. But, you know, they don't want us. They don't want us, man, because we don't spend the money in the Emirates. I mean, when I gave up my ticket, I had it 40 years, my season ticket. In 2016, I didn't renew it. And for I never spent anything in that ground for probably 3 years. I said, no, I ain't spending my money here. I'll go over the bridge. I'll go over Finsbury Park, right? I'll go up and get a burger there. I'm not paying fucking 10 quid for your pile of shit.
Jez, mate, I can promise you this, right? And this is a God's honest truth, mate. I have not bought a bit of food in that place, in that stadium, for years. And I mean, it might even be well over a decade. Because every time I'm in there, and sometimes I will buy 1 or 2 beers. That's only because I want a beer, not just because I want to fund the thing. And it's a shitty 7 quid watered down Camden Ales warm beer, by the way. And I regret it every time I fucking tap the card, Jez. I regret it, I do, mate. But when I get in there early, I just want a bloody beer. But the food, when I'm sitting there or my pints down or whatever, and I'm having a chat with people or whatever, I'm looking at people coming by with food. And I tell you what, it's fucking horrendous. Dry cardboard, plastic-looking crap with looks like absolutely no flavour to it. And I went, oh, do you know what? Because I haven't gone there to get a food for such a long time, I had a little look. And you're talking like 15, 20 quids for this crap. Like you get like a meal deal. I can't think where it was. I had a little walk down to another little bit to see another fellow who's got a seat in a different section to mine. And so you get different like little stalls sometimes in different sections, as you'll know. And I think like a meal deal, like a pint hot dog and chips was like 21, 22 quid. And I looked at it and I thought, Jesus Christ, I'd probably be fucking ill before full time if I lobbed this down my throat. Like, but people pay it. They want to pay it. People are buying it. And like you said, people are still buying this shit. They'll keep selling it. Like we got my mate Dazza, he drinks cider. Now they don't do cider on tap in there, or they don't upstairs up a tier in North Bank anymore anyway. But they do the what are they called? I can't think. They do little cans. I can't think what the brand's called. Either way, sometimes they'll give you the pint cans, you know, like the 586 ones. They give him a 440 one before, and then just poured it in. There's that much missing, and just charged him £7. Well, where's the fucking rest of it? They couldn't be bothered. They're just pouring half a can in there. It's like, what are we doing? Well, this is what's happening with these teams, with these clubs, and particularly ours. You know, and I've been looking at it gradually over the years, just going down to absolute shit, and it's frustrating really, because this is the Arsenal, Jez. You'll know much significantly more than I will. This is the Arsenal, and there, look what Aces is saying there, mate. So wherever he's gone in his part of it, it's even like 28 quid for a bit of burgers and chips and a shitty pint. Do you know what? If it was all right, you still wouldn't like paying it, would you?
No.
But if it was good, you're going, well, at least it weren't shit. But they're shit. But Aces, I don't know if you've actually just noticed that, or if you've bought them, mate. But did you buy that and eat it? I bet it was absolute fucking rubber, wasn't it, mate? Right. And this is what we're up with. This is what we're contending with, mate.
The last thing I bought in the Emirates, right, was probably what, 2013, something like that. It was a steak sandwich and chips, right? I can't remember how much it was, and it was like eating the bottom of your shoes. It was as tough as old boots. It was like, what the fuck am I eating here? Yeah, and it was rubbish, absolute rubbish. And I'll be honest with you, I got halfway through it, right, and I've just threw it in the fucking bin. I thought, well, that's it. I don't want that no more. This is shit, man. And I mean, I like, you know, I drink my wine. I don't. When I used to go there, if I had a glass of wine, I'd get a 250ml, right?
Yeah.
And the last one I bought in that ground, I think, was around about 750. The last time I was there in 2016 as a member, ticket holder, it had gone up. The last game I was there, it was £11. 11 quid. I thought, I ain't paying that fat pile of shit.
Do you know what? It's almost like the way the team are playing now is reminiscent of the quality of the fucking food. Overpriced and shit.
Yep.
Let's get that right. You know, there's such parallels between the both of them. I mean, let's just quickly nip back to sort of like the football there. Do you think, while it's on the top of my head, do you think the way we're playing is a little worrying, Jez? And by that, I mean, I can sort of appreciate and understand there might be a hangover in terms of, you know, like the Euros. A couple of players in our squad got to the finals, you know, etc., etc. You know, a bit of a Southgate hangover as well, because let's face it, his football's absolute toilet as well. I can sort of also appreciate, you know, getting back into things. You might not be completely match ready for the first couple of games or whatever, but I mean, we've had 4 games now in a row, and they've all been pretty shit, haven't they? All right, do you know what? We've got 10 points, so it's not the worst return in the world, but we should have 12. Are you sort of a little bit worried about the way we're sort of playing football, and the style of it? Because I mean, it seems to change it up every sort of season, and I'm going there now, Jez, and I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I even find myself on the phone just because I'm bored fucking stiff. I mean, and I'm in the stadium, you know, and I'm quite an energetic person, but sometimes it's so back to the goalkeeper, this, sideways, this. Sometimes I do get the phone up and think, oh, fuck, I should probably put that away. I'm in football. What's it like watching it from you know, from sort of home and sort of seeing the quality of the football going forward? Are you happy with it, Jez?
Not really.
No.
Not really. But then we haven't got we've lost players that could have given us a little bit of intensity. which is a worry as we get. Look, this is September, right? We got a long way to go. We're in match day 4 right now. Okay, we got the winter coming up soon. We know what can happen in winter when it's cold, it's wet, wet pitches. It's easy to pull a muscle, and you like a cold, frosty day, yeah, or a night, yeah, in the Champions League. That's how you pull muscles, because your muscles get tight. You know that. Yeah. You played football, right? I know it from when I used to play, when I used to referee. It gets harder and harder and harder, and we're good. I mean, dear God Almighty, I said this, Aaron. I said this before the season started. Right, I did a pre-season match review, pre-season review. We're 2 injuries away from capitulation, and here we are now. Right, we've got our 2 new signings out. We've got Zinchenko out. Not that I really give him any big credence, right?
Yeah.
And we're now in the Champions League Thursday night, and then we got Man City. And that Man City game, man, is going to be intense. Proper intense game. The game today, I wouldn't have said was intense. It wasn't a great game from either team. They were both sort of like dancing around each other. Yeah, there was a few nasty moments, not really that bad. But at the end of the day, we got a long way to go, man. And this could all be over very quickly by the end of November.
Yeah. Well,
we haven't got the fucking squad, man. We haven't got the depth.
So I've sort of touched on the fact that a couple of times we've sort of previously said about not having this depth in the squad and throwing the cups away previously, because I mean we've only won 2 FA Cup games since he won it, and that actually is a pretty shoddy stat when you think about it, ain't it? And all these little top bitches will always cry about, oh yeah, but we played Man City. Oh yeah, well we played Liverpool. So what does that make a difference then? So if they're such difficult teams, you knock them out early on, and then you realistically have an easier sort of run. But why is that an excuse anyway? Like, you're going to have great teams and good teams in the cup. You're eventually going to have to play someone, unless you're Man United in the Carabao Cup the other year. I think they only had about League One teams all the way to the final. But either. Can you see us winning any of them cups this season? Do you think? Or no? Let me rephrase that. Can you see us taking them seriously? Is how I should say it. No. And by that I mean the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Sorry, Jez.
Yeah, I know. No, I can't. I wouldn't be. I'd be quite amazed to see what team he puts out against Bolton Wanderers next week. I really will. I just think he's not going to take it seriously, because he knows he's got a weak squad. He knows he can't compete on all 4 fronts. But don't worry about it, mate. What? Don't worry about it, Aaron, because we've got the January window coming up, and we're going to get in. You know, people are saying it. These idiots out there, these big channels. Oh, we got the win. Egal is saying, oh well, we got the January window. Tell me, at what fucking time have we ever bought anybody decent in the January window?
Well, do you know what?
Under this manager,
aside from Trossard, you know, who has been all right? No one. And to be fair, that's not a great stat, is it? Only one. And Trossard has been good, but I mean, let's actually also get this right. He was more of an opportunistic signing rather than his first choice. Because who did we want? We wanted bloody Mudryk. Now, listen, I'm not gonna call bullshit on myself. I actually sort of put my own thought, yeah, do you know what? He looks good. So I'm not gonna I'll call myself out there. But for Arteta, it's not even his first choice signing, you know, so it's not even really his. So his actual best signing ain't even really his first choice. It's a frustrating one, that and it's almost sort of alludes to the fact that where's the trust sort of gone? You know, do you trust this sort of setup? And I'll again go back to the fact that we are weaker than last season. We brought in Calafiori, yeah, all well and good, but are we any better? I'm in shock. He's not even in the bench today, so he's injured again. And we've signed Mourinho, and this is where I'm pissed off with myself, people. And I'll look directly into the camera and say I'm absolutely livid with myself for not putting bets on both of our signings being injured before they make their debut at the start of the season, because you fucking know it's going to happen. Like, it's just Arsenal Football Club. These lot, they don't have an injury. They don't have nothing. I mean, he's 29, this Mourinho geezer. He's never... I might be wrong here, but I don't think he's very injury prone or had a lot of injuries in his career, or might not have even had a long or in any part of his career, sorry. But he comes to Arsenal, he fucking falls over someone and he's out for 2 months. I mean, you can't write it, can you, Jez?
Saka went off injured, man. So is that another one we've lost?
So like after that game, Jez, asking about that Saka thing, so I was going to ask you about it. I was sort of getting a few bits together, trying to sort of prep for this, you know. So I actually didn't hear any of the post-match analysis. Is there any sort of detail about that Saka injury? Because, like, on first glance, does it look a bad one? Or
secret, man, Arsenal always keep it secret. You know that we're not going to hear anything about that till probably Thursday.
Yeah.
Press conference before the Atalanta game, and then it'll come out. I'm pretty sure it was the same ankle as it's been for the last 2 seasons, right? And it's going to be, well, we'll wait and see. But hey, that could be another player out for the game up against Atalanta. I mean, it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. We got lucky last year, mate. We didn't have that many bad all right, Timber, first game, he was out. Gone. Right? Unfortunate. After that, we got fucking lucky. Right? Yeah. We had a lot worse, but we got away with it. But at the end of the day, I'm very fearful of how many players we're going to have left by Christmas. To be honest.
Well, the worrying again, like I said, sort of thing is you look at everyone almost went in sort of a meltdown mode, and we only had 1 suspension for 1 game, and Odegaard sort of gone, and I don't know what it is about Odegaard. Like, my mind isn't totally made up on about him, Jez. So I want your honest opinion about him. He doesn't start the seasons very well, does he? By from what I can remember in past seasons, he doesn't seem to start them. Now there is absolute moments of brilliance for him where I'll sit there and I think, do you know what? He's absolutely quality sometimes, but I'm just not totally sold on him. What's your honest opinion on Odegaard, Jez? Because I'm just on the fence. I just don't know about this geezer, mate, especially not for captain.
No, he's too far in and out. Last season he had some outstanding games. Brilliant. I mean, I gave him man of the match, I think, 2 or 3 times last year when I was doing the player ratings with Lee and the exec, all that. 9 out of 10. I gave him 1, I think, 1 game. I gave him a 10 out of 10. I said the man was unplayable.
Yeah.
And then next one, he disappears. Goes to guard again.
Yeah. You know? He loves it, doesn't he? He loves a little milk carton photo, doesn't he? He loves going missing. He does. It's frustrating. I mean,
that for me is not the levels of a captain. Like you never used to see that with the likes of when the past captains we've had. So no, he's a very, very frustrating player. I like him. He can be brilliant. I mean, some of the goals he scores, right, from outside the box are wonderwall. But he's just not that consistent enough. You know, yeah. I find it annoying. It's frustrating because you think, you see him play a great game against I don't know, Chelsea, right? And you think, right, he's kicking on. The next game against that game at Fulham, right? Fulham, yeah, down at Craven Cottage. Where the hell was he?
What's that where we went 1-0 up and then just decided we weren't going to play football after that? And just didn't they beat us 3-1 in the end or something? Was it?
Yeah, Fulham. Sorry, Villa. Both games.
The Villa one. Oh right, yeah. Oh wow, yeah, it was anonymous in both of them. Jesus Christ, I think half the team was.
Is he on the park? Because I thought, well, what's he doing? He did nothing. Yeah. And that, unfortunately, is something he needs to step up to, because I think he's a good player. I think he's a good player, but he's just not consistent. Havertz is the same. You know, I was the one that stood up against Lee and Kenny and Matty last year.
He was.
And I said, there's a player in there somewhere. And after Christmas, he stepped up to the plate. I thought today he was shit, to be honest. Didn't do anything at all. And that is annoying, because, you know, you're thinking, well, you've put you in that role. And I don't think he even had a shot today. I don't think he even had a shot.
I think, did he have a header? That might have been on top, like a weak header in the first half. That might have been saved.
He did. It was a good save from the keeper, Spurs keeper. But that was about it, really. Didn't do much more than that. And I'm sorry, if you're going to want to be, like, you know, playing in that role at 9, then I'm sorry, you've got to step up to it, mate. And this is where it's going to cost us. I'm annoyed about it, because we could have done better in the transfer window, but we didn't do it yet again. Why? I mean, the thing is, why does it take us forever, like a month, to sign 2 players? So 2 months to sign 2 players.
Jez, mate, honestly, I've got this little theory, right, that I think Edu must, when he's talking to other clubs about players, he must be getting the old feather and ink out, writing it in a scroll, putting the old wax stamp on with a really cute little E and a little AFC badge underneath it, and sending it via fucking carrier pigeon. Like, that's got to be the way he's operating, because he goes nowhere fast with it, does he? I mean, we've got the 2 transfers that we made this summer, right? Or two of the transfers we made this summer, Calafiori and Mourinho. The first being obviously Calafiori, taking about 8 months, and sometimes, right, granted, you know, the Euros can get in the way, but he came out public saying, yeah, I only wanted Arsenal. All right, so there's no competition then, so it should be fairly straightforward. Italy didn't exactly stay in the competition for very long, and he had agreed personal terms like that. What's the fucking problem? Like, why has that took 9 weeks? And then you look over Mourinho, almost copy and paste, apart from this geezer's only got a year left on his contract. You'd think, well, he only wants to join Arsenal. He's got a year left on his contract. He's not going to cost you an absolute bomb, and his wages ain't going to be astronomical either. And that took about 10 weeks. I mean, and do you know what the worrying thing about that was as well? Was this window? It almost looked like the way we were selling ESR and the way we sold Eddie, and then almost very quickly signed Mourinho straight afterwards. Like, we looked like we had to sell to buy. And when I'm looking at it and thinking, well, okay, if that's the case, then this new profit and sustainability regulations, right? So our season in the Europa League and then our season without European football whatsoever, they're off the cards now, yeah? So since then as well, we've got 2 years of Champions League football. We've also made player sales, this year being a fucking profit. We've also had an upgraded Adidas deal, an upgraded Fly Emirates deal. We've sold our soul again in the training centre and got the sober realty. Basically, the point I'm alluding to, Jez, is we're earning an astronomical amount of money. Why ain't we investing it? Whose choice is that? Is it the owners? Is it the editors? Is it, I don't know, but they're all at fault. They're all to blame. This is the thing. Who do we hold accountable, Jez?
I had a theory on this. This is my theory. There's no concrete evidence to this whatsoever. I wonder if the Cronkies, Stan and Josh turn around to Edu and Arteta and said, right, you want to buy players? Well, you earn money in the Champions League. You've got that money to spend, right? 95 million is what we got from that. Yeah. And he's turned around and said, you've got to sell to buy. You've got to manage your own books because of the PSR situation, possibly. And they're then sitting there shitting themselves thinking, oh, what the fuck are we going to do? So that's why we let a lot of players go, right, to actually bring in players that we actually haven't seen play yet because they're now injured.
Yeah.
So it could be that. It could be the Cronkies have said, look, you've had 800 odd million pound and you haven't won nothing. So you've got to do your own deals now. We're not giving you any more money. I mean, first game of the season, right, home to Wolves, right, when I was watching that, doing a watch along for it, I was watching Josh Kroenke was in the director's box.
Yeah.
Cameras were on him. He didn't look happy at all. He was sitting
Why didn't he look happy? Multi-billionaire. What's wrong with him then?
Well, in fairness, he might be a multi-billionaire, but he's probably thinking, we've spent all this money, and look at the shit we got. What is going on at this club? It could be. It's my theory. I'm not. There's nothing. Yep. It's my theory, right? So at the end of the day, that could be how it is. They've said, no, you've had loads of money. You've had loads of money. You ain't won shit. So now you sort your shit out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the finances of the club, but it could be that we've got PSR. We're close to that. That's why we had to sell players to bring players in.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, all doing this whilst trying to compete with Man City. And sort of while I'm saying about Man City, I want to read a starred comment I've made about FC Always. And what he said is we would play like that against Man City, and he's obviously referencing to the Spurs game today, and we'll concede 3 or 4 goals. I'm obviously conscious of your time, Jez, because we're hitting over the hour mark. So I will be wrapping up fairly soon. But I wanted to get a little bit of next week in about the Man City game. So I'm going to start just here before I come to the chat. And let me just say, chat, as well, please, I'm not ignoring you. This is my first stream. I'm not great on computers. Bear with us. I will get there for you. But it's also greatly, massively appreciated that you're here and supporting it. It will never not be underappreciated. So thank you very much. But yeah, so what AFC Always is saying here, Jezza, I actually agree with it. You know, you can get away with it against Spurs, okay? Because they're very naive. You know, they've got some good players. I like that Van der Ven at the back. He looks like, you know, a real centre back. But we're not going to get away with that against Man City. Now, no. You might, you know, we did last year. But we're not going to get away with this sort of kind of performance against Man City. And they're strolling it. And they don't even look like out of second gear. What are your thoughts sort of coming on for that Man City game? How do you reckon we're going to fare playing them next week?
Well, it depends what team we got, bro. You know, the way things are going, I'm hoping that Saka's just a knock because we can't afford losing him again. Odegaard's not going to be there. Let's put it right. Let's not mess around.
Surely not.
And, going up to the Etihad with... If we play like today, with that midfield today at the Etihad, we're done. Yeah. Haaland will walk through that midfield. Right? He will absolutely boss it. Yeah. Foden. Oh, I mean, come on.
They've not even played Rodri yet, I don't think. We might have got some minutes this weekend. I actually don't know. But I mean, they've got the best CDM still ready to come into this team, Jez.
Yeah, I mean, Savia, all that lot. I mean, come on, man. They'll spin us in that midfield like with spinning tops. Seriously,
Yeah.
you know,
We
it's not.
Spurs let us get away with it today, didn't they? Really, you know, like you said earlier,
Ben White got spun by Son today.
a couple of times, mate. Yeah, and in the first half, you know, he looked a little bit shaky with disrespect, and I like what Ben White. Let's get that right. But you know, I think they had the chance where he give the ball away, didn't he? Right, and he squared it in his own penalty area, and Solanke looked a little bit rusty. Probably should have done a lot better there. But that could have, you know, on another day, you know, if Solanke was, you know, just come back from injury, to be fair to him, he could have hit that and put it in there. You're thinking we'd just give him a 1-0 lead. He didn't look great.
Partey was giving the ball away for fun today.
Yeah.
The 18-yard box.
It seemed very self-inflicted, some of their chances, or a lot of their chances, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, we've got to step up, and I'm just concerned. I really am concerned because we've got, as I say, Atalanta away at the Thursday night. And if we know what can happen there, we get another knock, a player gets, you know, another strain, whatever, and we're going to the Etihad. And I'm sorry, Mr. Arteta, Edu, it's all on you. It's all on you. You brought this on yourselves because you didn't do the business.
Well, this is what my sort of feeling is. You know, no one's really going to remember this little period unless there's obviously silverware, because no one does. And by that, I sort of mean, so when you look at Arsenal, right, 1997, 1998, everyone remembers that. You can reel off fixture after fixture with that. And then 2002, double again. 2004, obviously the Invincibles. 05, FA Cup. Another FA Cup in between in 2003. Who really, other than the pain moments, who really remembers 99, 2000 and 2001? You don't, do you? That's a largely forgettable little period. You know why? Because we didn't fucking win anything, Jez. That's exactly why no one gives a toss about them for years.
I think you were on the show with Lee and a couple of weeks back. You were on with Lee, Kenny, and Matty. I said, in 10 years' time, right, who's going to remember last season and the season before? Anybody can remember? Oh, Arsenal came second and second. Anybody can remember that? No. People remember winners. People that win is what people remember, right? You know, I'll give you this analogy, right? I'm not a big Formula One fan, but I can tell you when I remember Lewis Hamilton winning at the British Grand Prix. I can tell you when, well, before you were even born, Graham Hill, Damon Hill, Nigel Mansell.
Yeah.
Because they won. Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about winning.
Of course it is. Like, I'm not being funny. You know, you said you had a season ticket, right? For 40, was it for 40 odd years? Did I hear right? Yeah. And obviously you've supported Arsenal, as your name says, you know, just since 1967. You haven't paid all the money. You haven't used all of that time in your life. And there's probably a lot of the time that you've spent supporting Arsenal. Well, along, like I said, with the finance. You haven't done that for the absolute fucking fun of it. You've done it because you love the club and want to see them win. Let's get that right. Everyone sat there in the stadium. Well, let me backtrack. Us fans are sat there in the stadium expecting this team to win. A lot of the fans in the stadium, unfortunately, nowadays are just there to have a couple of beers with the people, take selfies, buy merch, and
fuck off,
and be part of the absolute horrific, ugly, vile, vulgar, disgraceful, shambolic little cult that them little fuckers are. And it is. I mean, it's a virus. It's a plague. It's bad. And I actually don't think. You look at the last few years. The common denominator is the little bitch fans. They are. That's who's mainly pulling the club back. Because when you've got such a weird little cult like they are going to the board, Arteta, we're absolutely there. He's the best looking Spaniard we know. And they're, you know, sat there in their little chairs having a little fucking tug over him. All the board are thinking, wow, we're earning loads of money. We've got our Champions League football back. The fans are fucking giddy as anything. What's the point? What's the point here? You know, and that's it, for me, that's a little bit worrying. Well, I'm just going to come to the chat a little bit just before we wrap up, Jezza. So I'll read out some of the comments. We've got DJ. Hello, mate. I'll be honest, I 100% have no idea who the signings are and have yet to see them play because they're fucking injured, mate. Shock. Of course they are. Of course they are. And that's what I said earlier. I should have bet on it. I'll tell you what, the next signings we make, which won't be in January, and if whoever it comes in, they'll probably have a broken back like Super Kim Kallstrom. I'm going to do it, mate. The next signing we make in the summer window next year, he's going to be out for 6 weeks. So I'm going to stick a bet on it and see how much I earn because it's almost an absolute guarantee. We got Yeti, cheers, bro, saying big up Rossi, legend. We've got Superstar Mama in the chat. Hit the like, people, always appreciated. Absolute. Well, look, this is a great chat anyway. All the names that I've seen in here are absolute superstars. Let's get that right. But I'll put this right out there. Zero tolerance for any nonsense towards this woman. You can fuck right off. That's how you're going to play. Always respect, mama. Got Carl, hello. Yeti, hit them likes. Sub to that thing. We've got a bit of Rossi saying, hello, geezer. I don't rate Odegaard, sorry. Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying to Jez. He's so on and off. And the thing is with this squad, we haven't got enough quality members in it to carry passengers, have we?
Nope.
We just haven't. All of them need to be on point. And do you know what? All of them need to be fit. And we was lucky with that last year with the fitness, and we still didn't fucking win anything. I mean, what we're doing? Where'd you go from there? We've got Yeti again. Big up, Mama. We've got Mama. Hello, Carl. We've got a bit of Hendo in the building. Hello, Geezer. Yeah, Aces, agreeing, mate. Odegaard's overrated. I mean, you know, it's one of them things, fella. On his day, he can be magic. And you sit there and think, yeah, that's why everyone's saying it about him. But then you'll get that, like Jez was saying earlier, he'll turn up and you think, magic player. Next game, you think, why did he was even on the field? Like, it's that inconsistency. Then passengers, we're not going to win anything with too many passengers. How many games do you hear or do you see Man City fans going, Kevin De Bruyne was excellent today, but he was shit for 2 weeks. He's almost on point. When he's fit, he's on point every game. The big players are always fit and on point. Well, what are we saying there? We got a big up, bro. Yeah, what are we saying? Give us 2 seconds. Yeah, Odegaard. Yeah, he's a flat track bully. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, he does get a little bit ghosted in them big games. I mean, I just think it is the better opposition he plays. He's unable to get away with some of his tricks. So, I mean, some of the passes he does, to be fair, are wicked, but you never really see him against the world's best, do you?
Nope.
We've got a bit of DJ Crane. Failed wonder kid. Dribbles like he's a tap dancer, not a footballer. More hand waves and air flicks, mate. Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be fair, sometimes I can have just a little one, but I mean, this geezer's fucking like that. He's like an advert for a fucking product. I mean, he's just non-stop, isn't he? And do you know what does me in? Does it annoy you, Jez? And before I carry on with the comments, where he does this, he's constantly doing that every 5 seconds. I think, stop fucking waving your arms for crying out loud. It drives me mad, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely drives me mad. The biggest gripe I have with him is trying to hype the crowd up. Yeah. Well, there we go, mate. Rossi, mate. Do you know what I mean? It absolutely drives me mad. It's just that thing as well. It's like that. I think, all right, do you know what? I don't mind it when it's a passionate game and it's every now and then. And, you know, I think sometimes you do need a little bit of revving up or whatever. But he's doing it fucking in the first half after 5 minutes.
He wants to try doing it to the fucking team, man.
Yeah.
Saying, you're playing shit, fella.
Yeah. He's all face, though, isn't he? That's what it is. It's just all to look good. You wave your arm around. You're like, oh yeah, that's the captain showing the thing.
You know why, man? That guy carries no authority or respect amongst the team. Because at the end of the day, when we used to have proper captains in the Arsenal, right, other players would respect them. That's the difference.
100, mate. Absolutely 100%. Yeah. And Endo, just another tap on Odegaard. Big up Endo, mate. Ancelotti binned Odegaard. Says sort of half everything, doesn't it? He knew that Odegaard was not good enough for Real Madrid. And he wouldn't get into this Real Madrid team, would he? So, point proved, yeah. I absolutely agree, mate. He's saying Odegaard has some good games and then other non-existent ones. Yeah, that's it. It's not captain material. I mean, when you look at back on captains, like in our best sort of eras, your Patrick Vieira's, like Jess said, your Tony Adams, they almost never, they're human. Obviously, they made mistakes, but they almost never, ever put foot wrong. Even in a 38 Canada season, they probably had 1 or 2 bad games, and even they weren't probably that bad, But yeah, this geezer, especially for captain material, way too in and out for me, mate. Big up, mate. But yeah, I won't be telling my grandkids about the season we finished second and threw away the cups. What's to tell? Do you know what I mean? One of the things, the last trophy I see us win, because it was COVID year, wasn't it? The FA Cup was the FA Cup against Chelsea in 17, when you had the Ramsey header almost straight after the equaliser. And I tell you what, they're the things you remember. And I remember it still extremely fondly to this day. And I'll tell my little boy about it, you know what I mean? And wanting to get him into it and just to feel that little bit of passion. There's no passion going, oh, yeah, we finished second. Oh, what does that mean, Dad? Oh, absolutely fuck all. Yeah. But it's better than third, son. Right, come on. What we doing here? We got a bit of aces. Big up, geezer. Greatest Arsenal squad ever. Was seen in 89 and 91. Do you know what? Well, for a start, I know this superstar next to me was in the stadium for the 89 at the Anfield. I mean, I will, whether it's on or off stream, whatever. Just I'd love to have a proper chat with you about that some stage, because I mean, I get goosebumps and emotional watching the thing. To be there, I mean, must have just been astronomical. Like what a year. But the 91 squad was probably a really underrated squad. I always hear people say, and only lost the one game. Was it the Chelsea? I think. In that season, 2-1, if my memory serves me somewhat well.
Correct. We've got invincible.
Yeah, could have gone invincible. That was like today says, mate. That was a very talented squad with a lot of young players in it. Mama says I have to leave. My girl, superstar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And yeah, what was that? Aces, nearly went in the season invincible. Yeah, there we go. I'll take a couple more of these. I'll get through it, and then I'll just do the last little bit of the segment I want to do, Jez, and then I'll let you go, mate. Right, what we're saying now, Endo. Yeah, good night. Yeah, take care. A lot of take cares here. What's Endo saying? Set up some mods. All right, show it. Yeah. Well, I'll get there, mate. Do you know what? It's just one of the things. Like I'll get there. It's just the first stream, you know what I mean? I'll have a little go. I'll get there. I thought Sleep was awful today. Yeah, do you know what? I'll tell you what, that first half especially, what's it? Solanke was giving him a bit of chip, wasn't he? I don't think he looked happy as well. And I think that yellow card that we was talking about earlier in stream, Jez, I think that was a lot of that. I think he was a little bit pissed off that he weren't having his own way. And they said similar in commentary. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it was fantastic, but thankfully good enough to sort of get us through. And yeah, sort of as Saliba says, Saliba's yellow was scary. Yeah, it was annoying that they're not learning from their lessons. But yeah, Jez, thank you very, very, very much for joining me, mate. And I will end on this before I say totally bye. So there's this new little thing that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it every end of the week, and it's to call out who I believe is the biggest wanker of the week, right? Mm-hmm. And My friend Craig, he was in the chat earlier. He's gone to the game, yeah. He's gone to the game today. And whilst on his way into the, I think it was Northumberland in the station, he said to me, almost like a Green Street sort of scene. He said there was a wave and a sea of Arsenal fans there, all in their red. And on the other side, there was almost entirely full of Spurs fans. And they were all obviously shouting and absolutely giving them shit. I don't know why they pipe up these fans, Jez, because they don't win anything and they fucking lost. But you know when you always get that one knobhead, Jez, always one, didn't you? Has picked up a beer bottle and chucked it at the Arsenal fans. And amongst this sea of red Arsenal fans, he's only clocked in the head the only fucking Spurs fan there and knocked him on his backside. Well done, you idiot. Absolute idiot. And all the Arsenal fans were cheering, he's one of your own. He's one of your own. You fucking spastics. He's one of your own. So, whoever this absolute moron Tottenham fan was who could only bottle his own supporter, you get the first ever Wanker of the Week trophy.
I love that.
That is you, my man. You get it. And we will display this right up there all week. And I know we can't see it. I'll make a little bit of editing. But you, sir, are X-rated Wanker of the Week. You absolute pillock. I mean, do you get any Spursier than that?
No.
Glassed in your own mate whilst trying to glass an Arsenal fan. What are we doing here? But, Jez, I'll wrap up. Chat, absolute first class. Thank you so much for the support. I promise you, it is so appreciated. And yeah, sorry about that early doors. You know, I'm not really the best of singers. You know, if you unsub, I totally understand, mate. Jez, big up yourself, man. At early doors. At early doors. Jez, where can people find you, mate?
Yeah, it's Arsenal, the history and more, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this tonight. Big up to you. Good luck to your channel. Awesome first stream. Thoroughly enjoyed it, man. And you'll go on and on and on and on. And people on playback, watch this stream, sub, get this man to 100 subs tonight. All right, he's a top fella. And yeah, thank you for inviting me on, my friend.
Nah, please listen. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. And I'm one of them. I was one of them kids at school that didn't even like reading a book out. So I'm really out of my comfort zone. So to have especially someone on, especially like yourselves on the first stream, to just settle them little sort of nerves, it's greatly appreciated. And thank you very much, ma'am. And thank you very, very, very much to the people in the chat. You've been awesome, man. I appreciate the support. And yeah, well, I'll carry on. Jez, thank you very much, mate. Chat, all the best.
Yeah, pleasure, man.
Take care, everyone.
And Arteta out.
Edu out.